is Reggie Calkins. I am an Alaska Native storyteller, but I am also the only Alaska Native stand-up comedian slash paranormal investigator in the world. And that's true. That's true. So you know I'm out there in the haunted places telling my jokes to ghosts. Right, they laugh too, we just can't hear them. Kind of like right now.
That's not Marcellus.
So I'm gonna go ahead and stick with the stories. Down in Southeast Alaska, we have a lot of stories. There's a very important story called How Raven Stole the Sun and Moon and Stars. Has anyone heard of this one? Anybody? Good, good. Many people today. Excellent, excellent. That's excellent. Now there's many versions of this story. There's one that they call the 3-day version. That's right, it's gonna take 3 full days to tell it. That is a long story. Now, we don't have 3 days, so I can tell you a much shorter version of that story. It might be the shortest version you'll ever hear. And it goes like this. In the beginning, Raven opened the clamshell, and man sprang out. But the world was cold and dark then. So Raven went to the Great Chief's lodge, and he stole the sun and the moon and the stars from him. And he came down and he released them into our world so mankind could survive. Shortest version of that story you'll ever hear. I promise, it is. And I remember the first time I heard it, you know, as a youngster, I thought, that's kind of silly, right? I mean, how can you steal the sun? It'll burn you. How can you steal the moon? Where are you going to put it? How would you gather the stars? Of course, I'm thinking far too literally and not symbolically enough. And it was just a short time later, I was listening in the classroom, one of the teachers was explaining the common theory that it was a meteor strike that set the circumstances of Earth correctly for mankind to ascend to the alpha life form. And I thought back to that old story. I thought, wait a second. Could the elders have been talking about Raven in the form of a meteor? Right, a meteor that comes down and smashes into the Earth's surface, creating a huge dust cloud, effectively stealing the sun and moon and stars from the Great Chief's lodge, the sky, and then killing off all prehistoric life. Perhaps centuries later, when the skies cleared, Raven released the sun and moon and stars, and perhaps natural erosion, having exposed the core of the meteor, exposed the modern DNA strand, or life as we know it. Mythically speaking, the clamshell opened and man sprang out. So there you go, you have that old story explained in a little bit different way. And I started to have more respect for these stories, thinking that they might be based on a little particle of truth in there somewhere. And you might be able to find that truth yourself if you're able to dig a little deeper, or as I like to say, listen a little bit longer. So now I have different ears when I hear these stories. I try to figure out if there's anything that they're based on.